Welcome back to the Remdesivir Files COVID-19 Chronicle. In today's episode, we'll be reviewing meta-analysis and systematic reviews conducted post-2022, diving into real-world evidence and exploring the latest pharmacovigilance updates. We are joined by Saakshi Sharma, an expert in evidence synthesis and pharmacovigilance, to break down what these reviews are telling us about Remdesivir's long-term performance and safety. Welcome, Saakshi. Let's start with a broad question. What are the most notable systematic reviews and pooled analysis conducted post-2022 that have influenced our understanding of remdesivir?
Thanks for having me. Post 2022, several meta-analyses and systematic reviews have looked at remdesivir's role in treating COVID-19, especially as newer variants and updated treatment regimens emerged. One of the key analyses has been focused on the drug's efficacy in hospitalized patients with moderate to severe COVID-19. These reviews often pool data from randomized controlled trials or RCTs and real-world evidence or RWE studies. What we've seen is a nuanced picture. Remdesivir generally shows a consistent benefit in reducing the time to recovery for hospitalized patients, but the extent of this benefit can vary depending on the severity of the disease and the timing of the administration as well. Some of the more robust reviews included data from the ACTT1 trial, the Solidarity trial, the additional real-world data, which provided more context about its impact on patient outcomes. For instance, while initial trials showed mixed results for mortality benefit, subsequent analysis, particularly those incorporating real-world patient data, suggested that early use of remdesivir in certain high-risk population may still offer significant clinical advantages.
Interesting insights. Now, shifting towards real-world evidence, RWE. How has RWE informed the understanding of remdesivir's effectiveness outside controlled trial settings? What are the key takeaways from the RWE data available post-2022?
Real-world evidence has played an essential role in filling gaps left by the clinical trials, especially as we move beyond the initial pandemic waves. Trials like ACTT1 primarily involved hospitalized patients, but the real-world data extends beyond these strict inclusion criteria, including patients from diverse healthcare settings and those with comorbidities or varying levels of disease severity. This broader data set has provided insights into how remdesivir performs under real-world conditions, particularly in terms of its impact on patient outcomes in hospitals that may not have the same resources or protocols as the trial settings. From a clinical perspective, the data suggests that remdesivir is most beneficial when administered early in the disease course, particularly in patients who have a high risk of progression to severe disease. For example, studies from healthcare systems in the US and Europe indicated that remdesivir's effectiveness in reducing hospitalization duration was more pronounced in patients treated within the first 10 days of symptoms onset. This kind of evidence is critical for physicians making treatment decisions in real time, where they need to weigh the risks and benefits quickly.
That's a great point. Now, let's discuss pharmacovigilance. How has post-marketing surveillance updated our understanding of remdesivir's safety profile? Have there been any significant adverse events or safety signals identified in the real-world setting?
Pharmacovigilance data, particularly from the post-marketing phase, has been crucial in monitoring the safety of remdesivir after it was authorized for emergency use. One of the key areas of concern early was on potential hepatotoxicity, as seen in the initial phase of clinical trials and case reports. However, ongoing safety monitoring has provided a clearer picture. Post-marketing surveillance has confirmed that severe liver enzyme elevations are rare, and the vast majority of patients experience no significant hepatotoxic effects. That being said, liver function monitoring is still recommended in certain high-risk groups, particularly those with pre-existing liver conditions. Other safety concerns like kidney dysfunction and hypersensitivity reactions have been flagged in some reports, but again, these are generally infrequent. The data collected post-2022 suggests that remdesivir's safety profile remains consistent with what was observed in clinical trials, and adverse events are typically manageable with appropriate monitoring. Pharmacovigilance continues to be important, especially as remdesivir is used in more diverse patient populations and settings.
That's reassuring to know. Moving forward, what do you think is the future of meta-analysis and pharmacovigilance for remdesivir? How will these ongoing studies continue to shape its role in COVID-19 treatment?
The future of meta-analysis and pharmacovigilance for remdesivir will likely focus on long-term data and its effectiveness against emerging variants. As we move into an endemic phase of COVID-19, studies will look at its use in conjunction with other treatments such as monoclonal antibodies or antivirals to assess how combination therapies can optimize patient outcomes. Long-term data from real-world settings will be critical in understanding the full scope of remdesivir's impact on survival and recovery times, particularly in immunocompromised patients or those with multiple comorbidities. On the pharmacovigilance front, continuous monitoring of rare or long-term side effects will be essential. There will also likely be further studies to understand the drug's interaction with other medications, especially in patients who are on polypharmacy regimens. The overall goal will be to provide a more nuanced and personalized approach to COVID-19 treatment, refining guidelines based on the accumulated evidence.
Thank you for your insights. It's clear that systematic reviews, real-world evidence, and pharmacovigilance will continue to play a crucial role in refining our understanding of remdesivir and optimizing its use in clinical settings. We appreciate you sharing your expertise with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to discuss these important aspects of post-2022 research, and I'm excited to see how ongoing data will continue to shape the landscape of COVID-19 treatments.
That concludes today's episode of the Remdesivir Files. Thanks for tuning in. Until next episode, stay safe, stay curious.